Welcome to Mic Check Waifu Waifu.
Mic check, waifu, waifu. Montellionaire, is that you?
What's happening, Polo?
This is episode 227 of Mic Check, Waifu, Waifu. As always, it's brought to you by Patreon. Make sure you go to patreon.com/Mic Check, Waifu, Waifu to get early access to the video version of this podcast, to get access to our Patreon exclusive conversational podcast, The After Story, which new episode 70 dropped. By the time you're hearing this, there's a new episode 70. It's all about TV stuff. So Netflix shows, Hunting Hill House, and we touched briefly on Invincible. We did what else we do? Interstellar, my favorite movie of all time. We talked about a lot.
Some good stuff.
Some very, very good stuff on the After Story. So after episode 70, the After Story is up now. Make sure you check that out. Also, you get access to Take Talks, our exclusive Take Talk conversational show. Highly edited, highly controversial. I got another Take Talk coming for y'all soon, hopefully. Make sure you subscribe for that. Also, Mic Check Manga, where we discuss the manga we are reading together or individually. A lot of stuff over on Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/Mic Check Waifu Waifu. Support us there if you can. We appreciate the support, the love. We couldn't do it without y'all, especially the Patreon producers. Shout out to the Patreon producers that support us at our Weeb tier on Patreon. Shout out to Chris, our archivist, Dre, the GOAT, G, Rob from Dad Needs to Talk Podcast, Jay Lee Trey from Show Go High, Ked the Pro from Chaotic Culture Podcast and Show Go High, Explicitly, Monique Williams, Nachi, Semi Sensei, Frozen, Sophia, and last but not least, T Money Fingers. Thank you so much for producing this and many other episodes of the podcast. We couldn't do it without you, especially you, T Money Fingers. Thank you. I don't know. I always just start singling out people that support us on Patreon. We appreciate y'all for supporting us, though. We love you. Couldn't do it without y'all. This is a very special episode, but before we get into how special this episode is, tell how you feeling.
I kind of want to talk about how I'm feeling with a question.
I have an answer.
Do you eat dark chocolate?
I do. It's the only chocolate I eat.
Here's why I hate you.
Damn.
And here's why I hate you, because it's the chocolate I prefer, right?
Mm-hmm.
My wife, after 10 years, we haven't been married for 10 years, but we've been together for about to be 9 years. We've been married for about to be 9 years. She just recently found out that I prefer dark chocolate like a month ago. And we've been going down this dark chocolate rabbit hole for a while ever since. So trying different dark chocolates, seeing what she likes. And we got some cheap dark chocolate, like some regular Hershey's dark chocolate.
Yeah.
This special dark chocolate, whatever. And she's like, I don't see how you like this. And I was like, this is the sweetest dark chocolate you can get. I'm telling her, this is the sweetest dark chocolate you can get. This isn't even good dark chocolate. This is like cheap dark chocolate. Yeah. So we went out and got some really good dark chocolate, like some 72% cacao dark chocolate. Mm-hmm. She hates it.
It's so much better than just normal chocolate.
But we also did some research and found out that it actually makes your taste buds more willing to eat things that aren't super sweet. So I was telling her that's why I like dark chocolate, because it's not as sweet. Like everything else seems like way overpowering. Yeah, like kicking in my chest, bro.
I cannot stand sweet stuff. Like I used to. I can't do it anymore. I don't like it. I hate it.
I have like a threshold now where it's like, okay, this is sweet enough.
Yes. Yeah. I guess that's a
there's
good way of putting
too
it.
sweet.
Right. Having a threshold is a better way of putting it, because I could do like every once in a blue moon I'll get a gummy bear, right? Like that's about as sweet as I can go, or maybe like I can't do any, like I can't even drink like pop anymore. Like it's just too sweet. So I don't know. Dark chocolate is the only chocolate I prefer now, usually, but you know, you can't always get it, so I don't do it.
and we spent like $20 on some small ass pieces of cacao dark chocolate, but it was good. It was real good.
Worth?
At least to me. It was to me. She tasted it. It was like, yeah, I can't do this. And I was like, I get it. I feel it.
Is it too bitter for her?
So yes, but to me, and like I said, to me, it don't taste bitter almost at all. To me, and I get it, because I'm gonna be real, I don't like bitter taste.
Either.
But
Usually.
To me, it's not really all that bitter, because I feel like I taste the sweetness perfectly fine.
Right.
And it could just be the fact that I'm used to this like toned down taste, but I've been eating dark chocolate since like middle school, like since about the time I met you. So it's like, to me, dark chocolate has been my way for a minute. It ain't nothing new for me.
It's the superior chocolate for sure. For sure.
How you doing, Polo?
Not too bad. Not too bad. I don't know. I've been kind of on chill mode. I've been back to streaming, so that's been nice.
Love it.
Shout out to everybody that came through the stream, twitch.tv/PoloBoardFly. I went from literally took a long break to having basically no subs to back up to 40 already. So I appreciate y'all for supporting me over there on Twitch. That's love.
Round of applause to Polo in the chat.
I appreciate y'all. It means a lot. But I've been playing Alan Wake 2 over there. The scary game that Polo don't do scary. I gotta finish it though. I gotta complete it because that's on my list of games to beat. Big year though. Big year. I think I'm gonna do like a take talk just on like the games I beat and what I thought about them, like in like a quick little video form and stuff. I think that'd be dope. That's another idea.
One more question then.
Sure, I got an answer.
Quick synopsis on Alan Wake 2, because I'm gonna tell you, Alan Wake 1 to me was a phenomenal game. I thought it was highly slept on. Had no idea people actually liked Alan Wake until like 2 years ago.
It was a cult classic. Very small base. I played a little bit of it on 360 back in the day, but I never finished it. But Alan Wake 2, you can't really give a synopsis on. Does that make sense? Because it's fucking trippy. Basically, I can just tell you this. Basically, there's an author. His name is Alan Wake, who creates these thriller books, these detective books. But he's been missing for 13 years. He's missing in a town called I think it's called Bright Falls. Yeah, Bright Falls. He's missing in Bright Falls, and you as an FBI agent is tasked with kind of solving some murders that happen in Bright Falls, and he just happens to be a part of it, and you kind of learn how it all works, and it's fucking trippy, bro. It's like I never done drugs before, but I would assume that it's like a bad acid trip.
We don't want to experience that.
It's a very interesting story, the way they tell it, and it's so creative. Like it's unbelievably creative. It has a slight spoiler, I guess, roughly. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's not really a spoiler. It's all over the trailers, and so it has Max Payne, right? You remember the video game Max Payne? Mm-hmm. Same people that created Alan Wake created Max Payne. There's a detective, which is the partner of the character that you're playing, called Alex Casey. He's played by Sam Lake. Like the likeness is Sam Lake, which is the creator of Alan Wake and Max Payne, which was the likeness they used on Max Payne because they didn't have a character likeness, so they just took a picture of the game director and put him on Max Payne and called that his face. So they got his face, and then they got the voice of Max Payne voicing the guy. So it's a nostalgia trip and a half, bro. I tell you that much. And the way they do it, because because his voice, Max Payne's voice, the dude that does Max Payne voice is so talented, bro. He's so good that it's phenomenal. It's great.
Is the game still narrated by Alan Wake? Narrated by someone else this time.
It's both, I guess.
Okay.
It's multiples, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. I get it.
Very interesting. Fucking so good, and the way the mechanics within it is so sick. You got to come to twitch.tv/polo_boardfly. Watch me play it. I only streamed it for 2 days.
How'd the multi-stream go?
Well, you know who showed up on YouTube?
Who?
Q.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah, he pulled up on me, so that was nice. It was fine, it was fine. Multi-streaming ain't bad, but it is what it is. Watching two chats is tough. Watching one is hard for me already. So watching two is real tough. Anyway, this is Mike Check Waifu. The anime podcast is brought to you every Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. CT, where we bring you seasonal anime discussion, reviews, and the like. Today is a fat episode. It's about to be a fat episode. I'm gonna just say this now, right off the jump. Next week we're going to be talking about Invincible, the first 2 episodes, because we can't talk about it this week because I didn't watch it yet because I totally fucking forgot. Until I mentioned it earlier when we talked about the after story where we talked about Invincible. But today is going to be mostly Attack on Titan and then a few other things we watch. So before we get into that, let's say our episode of the week at the same time. I'm gonna count down from 3. Okay, you ready? I don't know what his is. He don't know what mine is, but I got a feeling I know what it is. You ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Rent free. Frieren is both of our episodes of the week this week, obviously, for obvious reasons. We're going to talk about that in the second half of the show. For spoilers, fucking hell, dude. Incredible episode, man. Incredible episode. Yeah,
easily amazing episode. And, man, they don't play in that anime, bro. They don't play.
It was actually, you know what? Really nice week this week for anime again. Mm-hmm. But I will say Madhouse is on fire right now with free rent, or rent free is what we call it. It's spectacular. I just knew both of our episodes. I'm like, oh yeah, this is about to be both of our episodes of the week this week. It was Tales for the last 3 weeks, but
I can't help it.
No, and you're not wrong. Never have you been wrong about it. I will say honorable mention though. While I don't like it as much as MF Ghost, Overtake had a really good episode. Mm-hmm. It was a lot of good episodes this week, actually. Crimson, Ragnar Crimson, it was a really good episode.
It was. Our Dating Story was a good episode.
Really good episode.
Obviously, JJK.
100 Girlfriends was really good.
While Dr. Stone had picked up, I feel like this has been the weakest episode so far, but only for like they were prepping kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Right. Same with Eminence. Eminence also was a very slow episode this week for, objectively story reasons. But, it was good to get those in there. It was a good week. It was another good week. Undead Unluck still sucks. But I'm not talk about that right now. All right. Let's talk about one thing that I watched this week, Tel.
What you watch, brother?
It's a Netflix show. It's called Pluto.
All right, Pluto.
I didn't know exactly what it was going into it until episode 6, I think. And actually, speaking of that, shout out to, again, everybody that showed up to our live show last week. Speaking of, this month, I fucking should have, I had it in my notes right here to bring up that the next live show is November 26th, but I digress. Last week, when we did our live episode, Rob J came through and said he dropped Pluto after episode 6, and I get exactly why he did it. Mm-hmm. Totally makes sense. But it's, it's not bad. It's very I don't think you need to watch it. I don't think anybody needs to watch it, to be honest, because unless you're an older fan, I guess, but it's just Astro Boy. I'm gonna just say what it is. It's a dark retelling of Astro Boy.
So it's like Cash Earned Sins?
No.
It's worse than that?
Yes. Not worse. It's good.
It's like more on the Astro Boy path, but
yeah, it's not a bad show. It's very, very dark. Very predictable though. Like, I mean, beat for beat predictability is off the fucking charts. And does that make it bad? No.
It just makes it predictable.
Yeah, it just makes it predictable. So I really didn't care that much for anything I was watching. It was long. 8 1-hour episodes is kind of long. Which technically makes it 16, but I don't know, it's just, it didn't feel good watching it. I'll say that. It didn't feel good. Very, I don't know. I feel like I was forcing myself.
And hear me out. Ain't that what Rob J said?
Yep.
He said exactly that. And when he feel like he forced himself at this point, you gotta let it go.
You gotta let it go. It doesn't matter if you was 11 out of 12. You should definitely let it go. What about you? You watch anything new this week before we get into the main topic?
Nothing specifically new, but I had some thoughts on Berserk of Gluttony.
Okay, talk to me.
We talked about a little bit of predictability, right?
Sure.
And they kind of led into some of that before, right? They gave us what's happening or what we could assume would be happening, like episode 2 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And in this episode, they dropped it. I kind of wanted to see how you felt about it, because I feel like as soon as they introduced, slight spoiler alert here, the idea of the 7 deadly sins kind of thing.
I mean, that shouldn't be a spoiler because of the name of the show.
Yeah. But it's also like how they dropped it in.
Sure.
I feel almost like, man, it would have been better if they hadn't, I guess, gone this route, but they got to, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's the methodology, right? So, like the name of the show is Berserk of Gluttony, so you have to assume that there's the others, So, I mean, that was to be expected, like you said.
Why is our other person with the sin ability or whatever ability? Because we can assume maybe she's sloth because she fell asleep out of nowhere.
Her weapon is sloth.
Her weapon is sloth. Why is she endlessly hungry? Is it that she has the same ability? Like, does she have gluttony, but her weapon is sloth, or does she have greed and then her weapon is sloth? Or I'm not sure exactly how that worked. Yeah,
greed is his weapon. So his weapon is greed.
Yeah, greed is his weapon.
He's gluttony. She has sloth, but what it could be? I mean, it could be that her weapon makes her tired. It drains all her energy from her.
I just, I don't know, bro, because I really enjoy this MC.
Yes.
Hear me out. I love the mayhem he caused in the previous episode.
Sure. Yep.
I guess I don't want it to get too predictable.
This is what it is, and this is okay. Like, right? Like, this goes back to the conversation we had millennia ago when we had the guest from Black Anime Podcast, Aaron, where we talked about what's most important. What's most important to you? World, MC, power system, whatever's most important to you when you're watching an anime, because one could be good, one could be bad. The world, not so good here in Berserk of Gluttony, and I'm not gonna admit that, but the MC is so fire. Even was Roxy, even she's fire. I like her. Even like the sword, I like, what I'm saying? I like greed a lot. Like I like the characters of the show, which means that for me personally, Polo, which everybody that knows that listens to the show knows that characters is the most important piece. I'm okay with an okay world if the characters are tolerable or manageable. And that's what this is. This world is okay, but the characters are great, I think. At least a couple of them are, anyway. I don't know about the sloth girl yet because we just met her, but I'm enjoying it.
And she definitely has that like stale personality type where it's like she's supposed to be the lolly, calm, probably older than she looks.
Everybody here, of course.
And and then super leaning to the ownership, like she saw him first kind of thing. And I don't want to say I don't want to read too much into it, but I definitely felt it. I was like, bro,
what I
this
like
is about to go down this road. I'm not really here for it.
Yeah, what I like is the breadcrumbs of intrigue that they put within the show. Like, why does Greed and her know each other? Why have they known each other? What seems to be for a long time. It's stuff like that I enjoy more than anything else that's going on. Like, and again, the main character situation, like he has to basically eat or feed on souls or he dies. So it's like, I'm more intrigued in that than I am anything else really.
Right.
But I completely see what you mean about like, where is it going as far as like the other sins? Like how could they possibly be involved with this? Because we were okay with just our main character and kind of just doing what he doing and focused on his situation. It's when they try to add too much that makes it rough to tolerate.
And that's what I'm saying. That's more, I guess, what I'm trying to lean into is that like, I agree. The characters are very enjoyable in this anime. Don't dilute it too much, I guess is how I'm feeling. Because now, and I get it, you got to add more to the world. You got to add more to the story. You got to add more to the characters. But it's like, I don't know if this is the right time yet, and maybe it was the right time and I'm just being picky. I don't know. Maybe I need to give him another couple episodes to rock like that. But
yeah, you gotta shout out to Rob J. You gotta temper your expectations. You know, you just temper your expectations when you. That's what I do. Every show that I turn on, my expectations are tempered. Like
every single episode,
every single show. It's show based, right? So okay. I don't expect Berserk of Gluttony to be as good as MF Ghost. I'm not expecting MF Ghost to look as good as Overtake. I'm not expecting Overtake to be as fun as 100 Girlfriends. You know what I'm saying? Like I set my bar to the show's taste from when I watched it from episode 1, and then when I go to a new show, I start from scratch. I start from zero, and then figure out where to go from there. So setting your determinants on Berserk of Gluttony, you're watching fucking Frieren and Apothecary Diaries this season. So you're like, this Berserk of Gluttony ain't as intriguing as those two. You know, maybe it's not good.
But you know, yeah, I do think I'm giving it a fair shot. But I think that, and I know we've talked about this before, the podcaster brain kicks in sometimes.
Yes,
and I kind of see that striking of like, I don't want how bad it is or how bad certain aspects are to overtake how good other aspects are.
Right.
Because when the plot becomes too like, I already know what this is and I'm already digesting it before they even give it to me, it makes me feel like, oh well, why am I even watching this show if I already know how this is gonna end? I'm trying to pull back from that, bro.
Well, on my Libra scale, are you entertained?
Yeah, it's cool.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where it matters. If it's just cool, but the weight of the predictability is higher than it's cool, then maybe turn it off. You know, I don't know. It was just a suggestion, just an idea.
That's reasonable.
But I love it. I like it. I like it a lot. I enjoy watching it because, again, the way I watch anime is probably way different than yours. It has to be different than yours because you have, kids and a wife. So for me, it's easy for me to what's the word?
Compartmentalize
the shows that I watch because of the days that they come out, right? So Berserk of Gluttony come out on Sunday, the day we record, alongside Overtake and MF Ghost and shows that I know that aren't really as Apothecary Diaries level, even though Apothecary Diaries does come out on Sundays, I think, or Frieren. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I have it all. Like the days that they're out, I'm watching them. The days that they're out, I'm watching. So I'm like, whatever days that they come out, that's basically my base and how I start my day every morning. So I don't know. again, it's the way we consume, it's what we consume, and it's how much we consume that I think kind of changes our perspective on a lot of stuff that we watch. For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Because dog, Apothecary Diet is just so good.
As always.
I can't fucking wait to watch next week. Dad Needs to Talk, Rob from Dad Needs to Talk podcast gets me so excited with his tweet about Apothecary Diaries and what's going to happen next week, supposedly. I don't know. But again, temper my expectations.
Yes.
Let's see here. Anything else? Oh, yeah. Like I said, we're watching Invincible and talk about that next week. That's a big deal. I can't wait.
Big deal for sure.
Did you see it?
No, I ain't watched it yet either. Monique and I are excited to watch that first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
She wanted to go back and rewatch the train scene. I said, what's wrong with you?
It's so good. It's so good. Oh, I cannot wait to talk about that next week. But this time, we're here to talk about the final season, part 6, final chapter, part 2 times 4 to the third power of Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan was longer than pie.
Attack on Titan is finally done. And I will say, I'm so glad that it's done. Mm-hmm. I've never been more happy about a series finishing in my entire life. I don't think I've ever been happy about a series finishing in my entire life, to be honest. But I'm so ecstatic that this is done. It's over because it was being drugged way too fucking long. Mm-hmm. For reasons that, changing studios and Mappa working their asses off, or there's all kinds of shit that led to this being drugged.
Drugged, yeah. The show did get a little lopsided afterwards.
Very much so.
I'm also happy that this is done. For me, this was like the episode was kind of emotional. And I'm gonna tell you why. Not because like what happened, but it's just because, like you said, it's done, right? Like we finally come to an end of all this. And I enjoyed the beginning of Attack on Titan so much.
Me too.
I feel like I personally have a lot of history with Attack on Titan.
Me too.
Especially the reading it month to month for years before we even started this podcast. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There was so much time I put into Attack on Titan that we get to this point here where it's finished. I'm like, man, bro, this is years of like a culmination of years, and it's finally over. And I kind of wish it was over sooner, right?
Yeah, we all do, I think.
And I only say I wish it was over sooner because I feel like I would have nicer things to say. Mm-hmm.
Agree with that.
And I'm not even gonna say it was like horrible. I just let's not do that yet. Let's not do that yet. How are you feeling? How are you feeling about this wrap up of Attack on Titan finally?
Well, I said this a long time ago when I read it. The best part about it was the end. Mm-hmm. And I say that with all sincereness. Like, the best part about the show was the way it ended. I don't think it could have ended any better. And I don't think it. I think this is the right way of ending it, of closing it out. Like that, it's the only way that sort of kind of made sense for ending it. And I was okay with it. I was okay when I read it, that the way it ended, and I'm okay with it now, watching it as it ended. But I do miss Wit. I do think the show did not look good. To me personally, I truly felt like it looked. I mean, it looked like the manga. Let's just keep it real. Mappa did a hell of a job with being manga accurate. And those that know me, I know I don't like the way the manga looks. It looks fucking terrible to me, in my personal opinion. Like, the art looks so scratchy and intentional for the art style, but the animation, as far as like some of some of the Titan animations, the 3D just did not look appealing. Yeah, did not look appealing at all. It was kind of like how I felt about JoJo's, but not as eccentric, I guess. You know how eccentric JoJo's is, and I say this all the time. JoJo's makes me want to fucking scratch the skin off my skin. Like it looks so disgusting to me. But I felt that watching this. I felt like it was cheap 3D assets, but other than that, you know, it was good to see a lot of stuff that I read actually animated though. Like fucking what's funny is, and obviously we're gonna go into spoilers of this. Everybody fucking watched it, so it doesn't matter. But what the best part for me was watching Levi kill a big fucking, what's his name? Zeke, yeah. Watching Levi kill Zeke, because it was just the way that I read it was exactly how it played out. So when you read it and you see Zeke talking, he's like, and he's fucking automatically, his head is gone. It was brilliant the way that was. It was executed so brilliantly, literally and figuratively, I guess.
And hear me out. Animation wise, the part that bugged me the most was specifically the ending transition, when everybody's like rallying their emotions and energy to do this like final combination attack, and you have this like long, like almost like a single shot scene of them trying to carry through and do everything. I was like, this is actually really bad. And I'm only saying it was bad because it's like, I know a lot of them are using omnidirectional gear, and some of them are Titans, and et cetera, et cetera.
The Titans look like clay. That's what the problem was. Yeah,
and it didn't seem like the motion fit where they were going. It almost felt like, you know how like you look at a video game, and if you move the camera out of the spot that the video game has it set in, that everything is like clipping through the walls and looks funky and stuff like that. I felt like if I had moved the camera, that's what this was going to look like a bunch of clipping art together and stuff like that. And that could have a lot to do with the 3D animation, the CGI. But bro, and I know people out there who absolutely love this, who thought this is bomb. This is like,
I'm sorry.
The animation was not it. I'm happy that it ended though. I'm happy that it got to this ending, and I'm happy it finally all came to a head, and the show is over.
Pun intended.
Yeah. But I actually, I enjoy this ending. It almost makes me feel like I wish that this season, the way they did this whole final season, I wish they had just did this from the beginning. Almost like
straight up.
They shouldn't have gave us a season one, a final season part one that was 12 episodes, then another final season that was 12 episodes, then a season finale, and then another season finale. It's too much. But the way this ended, and the pacing almost felt like they didn't waste our time too much. Like I still feel like there was some points that was wasted.
100%.
Like they could have gone through some parts of this. And man, I'm not trying to make this sound like a Attack on Titan slander thing, because I do really enjoy Attack on Titan after this ending, but I'm going to remember it for the nostalgia, not so much for the animation. But yeah, bro, I think I think the pacing was a bit off for the movie, but if it had been done any other way, I feel like the pacing would have been significantly worse, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I think to me that was the pacing was one of the better parts, and it's probably because I just don't. I guess to go to the food negatives, I just don't give a fuck about nobody. Like I don't care about anybody in the show. So like for you to kind of drag me along on something that I don't care about, and again, I started to feel this again. Remember, y'all, everybody that's listening to this, I started feeling this when I started reading it. Right when season 3 ended, I was excited. Attack on Titan was almost in my top 10 anime of all time, and I love this show. So I'm gonna always throw that caveat out there. Well, this is gonna be the last time I throw that caveat out there because it's over now. But I loved Attack on Titan so very much. And then the final season started. Before the final season started, I read all the way up into the end, pretty much all in one day. Probably took me 2 days maybe to read it all. And I was baffled by what I was reading because the characters changed so much that I just did not give a fuck. They're so dry and boring and annoying, and like everything about them was annoying. Like everything was just irritated me to no end. Maybe it's a personal thing, but I hated all of them. So to watch this, every time somebody died, I didn't give a fuck. Like I didn't care. Like the deaths were meaningless to me. Anybody getting hurt, I didn't care. Anybody coming close to dying, I didn't give a fuck. Like that's why characters so important to me, because if I don't care about that, I don't really care about anything else that's going on. I do think Attack on Titan became overly convoluted in its storytelling and its writing, in order to kind of bring ahead this ending. Again, I'm perfectly happy with the ending. I would rather it end like this, but the methodology that they took to get here was so fucking lackluster that it was such a paradigm shift from what we got in the first 3 seasons or at the beginning of the manga to where it is now, that, you know, it was hard for me to give a fuck. So again, watching it, you know, I was entertained, I guess, because it was cool to see the carnage, but I just didn't care about anything. And
there's a lot of things I can rock with in the name of freedom and, like, I guess rocking with your people and stuff like that. But putting your mom in harm's way don't seem like one of them things.
Oh, I just had to, so it can lead me to this point. It's just so tacky to me.
Yeah, that did not seem functionally real. Yeah. It seemed like a retcon. That's what it seemed like. It seemed like, oh, we had to give him this emotional trauma so he can move forward. But like realistically, come on, bro, you ain't have to do all that. Yeah. And then had him say that he did it himself. To me, that was the worst part. That's what made a lot of it seem worse. Is that? But
that's supposed to be the twist, Tell.
I know, I get it. But that's what made it seem worse. That I can get a lot of things. Eren had to put himself in this position to get here. Mm-hmm. That's what the Founding Titan's power is. Eren wasn't always in control, et cetera, whatever, right? Whatever they want to kind of make it out to be.
Hold on. The biggest fucking slap in the fucking face to me personally was Ymir loved the king for 2,000 years. Like that shit really blew my fucking mind. I'm like, okay.
Let's be real. So let me finish with my Eren thought real quick.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong, because I want to touch on that too. Ain't no way Eren, like, to me that just sounds absolutely asinine. Mm-hmm. That as a person who saw himself live that trauma before he even knew he had that power, right? Before he knew he was gonna have that power. Now he's in the world where he can see how to move parts around. You say, okay, I'm gonna make myself live this trauma of watching my mom get eaten by a Titan and say I want to kill all Titans. You couldn't do anything else, bro. Your own mama. And I get it. You ain't want to waste the life of nobody else. But you already killing 80% of humanity anyway. You could have made it anybody else mama.
But the structure goes, like, if he didn't have that problem with it, or if his mother wasn't the sacrifice to this circumstance, then he wouldn't have been able. Yeah, he wouldn't have been able to turn, like, to have the emotional motivation to do what he's doing now, right?
I get it.
It's the 2 + 2 = 4, 2 × 2 = 4 kind of shit. It's like,
but he would have been hyped up just as much if his mom leg popped off from a Titan. That's all I'm saying.
No, it wouldn't have. The effect of watching your mom get eaten by Titans is enough for you to say, oh, these motherfuckers are throwing Titans at us. Remember, Marlians were throwing Titans at these people. So it's their fault. So now I got to get mad enough to get over, you know what I'm saying? It has to be equivalent exchange, in the words of your favorite anime. It has to be.
I get that. I just ain't no way I can justify putting my mom in another person's mouth to get devoured like that. I feel it though, because I'm not Eren.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter until you, because at that moment in time, it's not him, right? It's him seeing this, right? It leads up to that point. Yeah, right. So he's like, fuck, I gotta do this.
Kind of shit here.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm fucked. I have to do this. in order for it to lead to where it is. But the issue with it is like you said, you're not wrong about it being so many fucking plot holes within this whole thing. Because again, if you saw the future, if you saw everything, if you saw these paths, you knew this fucking worm thing was the only thing you needed to do to kill this shit. Now I get it, because if the Marlians were to not fight without the Titans, or fight the Eldians without the Titans, then they would probably stump his people. I get that. So maybe that's the reason why, but it's all just fucking, it's a overly convoluted thing for no reason.
And then you, like you said, you take out 80% of humanity. You could also take out the weapons.
Yep.
Make everybody start from scratch. Now you got whatever is left of the Eldians, and then the rest of the fucking world. Yeah, they probably still gonna be mad, but like you said, they could have still just fought you. There's still so much.
Or just kill the Titans. Just break the fucking worm.
Yeah, kill the Titans. But the Ymir being in love for 2,000 years, you have a literally near omnipotent being who can literally resurrect, deconstruct all kind of shit in their world, right?
Mm-hmm.
A near omnipotent being that is omnipresent to all Eldians, and she's in love with this dude that basically abused her. And I get it, right? I know a little bit too much about psychology, but for 2,000 years, I don't think that's how that worked.
No, bro, it's not. It's not. Well, sure, it could be she was still in love with him, but it doesn't work for the fact that 2,000 years caused this much pain and suffering for everybody else just because of that. Like it doesn't add up. None of it adds up. That to a point where and people are probably yelling at their fucking phones, or probably turned the podcast off by now. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not expecting this episode to get a lot of listens, but I don't give a fuck. Thank you so much for supporting us. But like, it's essentially it's just a mess. It's a mess, like I said. But where we got to, again, my favorite part of the entire series as a whole is that very end.
Mm-hmm.
Is the very end, and when it's Mikasa's fucking going in there and instantly chopping his fucking head off with no hesitation, because that's the only time that they showed any type of characterization that wasn't fucking annoying or lackluster or just
what felt like real emotion.
Yeah, what felt like actual emotion. Everything else was just it felt washed.
And I'm telling you, Wash is perfect, because Armin's moment.
Ugh.
I felt like Buddy was just complaining the whole time. Bro's just complaining.
Yeah,
he's just talking. I feel you,
bro. Turned into, man.
This isn't and he's always been emotional. And let's not say this is what he turned into. He always been emotional.
Emotional, yes.
But this like whining, Aaron, why'd you do this? Kind of a vibe he had. Nah, bro. I was ready to turn off Armin.
No, I miss the Armin that was the thinker that strategically planned out different shit. Like that's the shit that I missed. That again take that paradigm shift.
That was willing to take over for Erwin. You know what I mean? Like I wanted the good Armin, and I would have taken the emotional Armin over this sulking Aaron. Why'd you do it, Armin? Like, bro, you now that and. I don't know, bro. It's I think you feel me on that. I think you feel me on the Armin thing. I wish that we could have entirely foregone Armin. and I'm happy this came to an end. The head kissing was a little morbid.
Like necrophilia. Like what the fuck?
But I get it, because realistically, he still had like another 30 seconds of brain activity. Maybe she's one of the
all right. No, still don't excuse the necrophilia at all.
I agree. I'm just in here. I'm trying to justify it any way I can, bro.
Ain't no way, Chief. Ain't no way.
Because I wanted it to be good, but man,
it's listen.
It's not a bad ending. I'm not saying it's a bad ending.
No. I think we both agree that the ending was good. It's just the journey. Now, here's the question, right? Could we say? Because how many episodes is that total when you bring it up? I'm gonna look at it here. season 1 through 3 were great. Were great seasons of Attack on Titan. Technically, the final season is 3 seasons in itself with the amount of episodes that it is. But would you say it's about 50% great? Well, I don't. And me personally, maybe I'm asking this question to Polo myself. 50% of this was great. 50% of this was turned into complete garbage to me.
No, I would say it's better.
Huh? I'm talking about for me.
Yeah, go ahead.
For me personally, 50% of it was great. The other 50% was garbage. Does this make the show good? You know, because you know how I like to categorize things, right? I say, listen, if 25% of your season was good, does that make the show good? No, right? Like even if this season has some of the best action scenes in it, does that mean that the entire season is good? No, it does not. I.e., season 4 of My Hero. So for me, is the show good because of it being mostly bad at the end? The ending was good. I think, yes. I think I would consider the show okay. At that point, I think I will give it an okay, right down the middle score. Only because of I like the ending. I like how it ended. So even though they went from good to bad.
So I kind of agree with that. The only reason I would give it better than okay, right, is because from what I remember from season 1 and 2, it was really good in the beginning. Season 3 was the one I got to rewatch because I know I watched parts of it, but I was reading at that point and I didn't have like that urgency to necessarily watch it. But I'll take your word for it. Let's say it was good, right? Season 4 is like the finale season, and that felt elongated. It felt poorly paced. It felt like there was a huge shift in the characters' dynamics and desires and whatnot. So I would say, let's say that's 25% of the show.
Yeah.
So I can't say it's like 50-50, but I can, let's say because of like the extension of this movie part, let's say it's more like 65% of the show. If 65% of the show is good and the rest is like, I'm going to say it's like a C. So yeah, it's okay. I think okay is good, but I still think that's like better than average, but not amazing. If that makes sense.
And the reason why I get such a hard time for me is because of that character dynamic switch. Like you cannot take something that you had that was a fucking straight piece of paper and ball it up and throw it in the trash, and then I'm supposed to go and take it out the trash and then unravel it. Like it was, I don't know what the fuck analogy that was. It didn't even make sense, but still, I still feel like that because of the characters went from here to fucking sewage, and for those of the listeners to the podcast version, not watching the video, to the top of the sky, to the bottom of the fucking dirt, that has more impact on me only because of what I felt for this show. If you go back and listen to, I'm sure Christian, hey, shout out to our archivist, find out what episode I was about to make Attack on Titan in my top 10. Like I was so close. If I didn't do it, or top 5, I think I did it or maybe came close. I don't know. I can't remember. So if you can find that for me, let me know so I can retweet it to say this shit fucking sucks now. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's to me, I would say it's okay only because the ending was good, but I'm leaning more towards bad than okay.
Right. And what's kicking me in my chest about it is I'm like thinking about like season 1 and season 2. I'm thinking about when Eren and them had to like link up to even get to the point to where they could try and kill Annie. And then when we get to that point, we find out Annie just turns into a straight rock and they can't do anything about it. And it was like, we got all this build up and we got this disappointment, but that disappointment didn't feel like bad. It felt like we were still discovering about the world. So hold up. I don't know I think I had to sneeze, but either way,
I'm keeping that in.
We got so much build up about the world to get that disappointment, but it felt like so rewarding still.
Yes.
Just to see our characters running through the catacombs and the buildings and everything like that to try and get to this final moment. And then we kind of get here, and this did not have that same impact for me.
Because you didn't care as much.
It did not, and you're right, it did not feel like all these hundreds of characters that they done stockpiled together. It did not feel like all of this mattered as much as it did back then, even though
is crazy.
Technically this is supposed to matter significantly more. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Because it turned into a convoluted shit show with fucking stale gingerbread character. Like it just they were still. I'm sorry. And if you disagree, listen, again, I know this, y'all probably been turned the podcast off. If you're listening this far and you love Attack on Titan still, more power to you. Tweet at me at Polo Bornflower, or tweet at Tell at King Telliano. Just saying no, don't tweet at him. You can tweet at me. Let me know that you
need to
let me know that you listened this far into the episode, because I know this makes a lot of y'all mad, but this shit fucking stunk. The series as a whole went from great to okay, and that stinks. Okay.
That stinks for sure.
That definitely stinks. And to me, overall, the show stinks. What did you think about, we're going to wrap this up here before the internet sets our lives on fire. What did you think about the end credits that was not in the manga?
To me, that's exactly what I expected. Aaron got them to a point to where they were supposed to be even in this world. And then literally this shit continues just without Titans. And it's like, you did nothing, bro. You did nothing. And I get it though, because that's the nature of humanity. We gonna fight regardless. That just is what it is. But you actually did nothing. These people don't even care about the fact that there was Titans in the world, just stomping everybody out. And then we kind of get that little ending scene with the boy walking into the tree.
Yeah.
And
which is maybe indicated to be Mikasa's son.
Yeah, and maybe they have more information. And obviously Titans aren't coming back, but it's like, what is this supposed to be? Is it supposed to... It didn't give me nothing, bro. It just made me feel like... Yeah, it made me feel like this is exactly what was going to happen, because you didn't actually solve shit with your big plan to eliminate 80% of the world. There's no peace. There's nothing. You didn't do nothing but just make the world less people repopulate, and they're going to do the same shit over and over and over again.
What pissed me off is them having that little boy in it and him walking into the tree to indicate something. But it doesn't indicate anything. You're not coming back. You're not coming back. You're not bringing Attack on Titan back with some other fucking characters or story. Like, it was just a nothing burger. And what it did was it got the Attack on Titan anime community in a tizzy. Like, oh, but what about the guy walking in the tree? That could be something. And I guarantee you it's nothing. It doesn't mean anything like the rest of the show initially. Overall, that's it. Attack on Titan is done. You can now, come back, listen to the podcast. We will never talk about Attack on Titan again. I promise you that. Like, I wholeheartedly guarantee you that Mike Check Waifu will never talk about Attack on Titan ever again, probably. So.
What?
With that being said, what are we spoiling this week? We spoiling Frieren. What else we got here?
Let's do Your Sleeper.
Okay. Our daily story. Rent free. And let's do Kingdoms of Ruin. You seen that?
Have I seen it? Yeah, I've seen it.
Let's talk about that, because that's intriguing.
Let's do it.
All right, we'll be right back after these.
Someone tell her she so miles. Hey, keeps she follow the beat. Tell me, catch you for get on the sheets. Oh, keep, so stolen, stop being sick. Lips was cold, stop being sick. Head makes long, I'm stop being sick. Everybody else, stop being sick. Everybody else, stop being sick. And it was stolen, stop being sick. Lips was cold, stop being sick. Head makes long, I'm stop being sick.
And welcome back to episode 227 of Mic Check Waifu. Right now we're about to spoil Rent Free, aka Frieren. Episode see, I remember it this time. I just don't have the episode handy. Episode 9 of Frieren. Before we get into the other spoilers of the other shows, this was by far the best episode of the show. Now it's
Really?
not. Now it's not only because of the animation, okay, and it's not only it is not because of the animation. It's because of how everything played out because of the episode prior, right? Of Rent Free or Frieren going to talking to Fern and Stark like, hey, y'all can beat them. Like I'm leaving town. Not telling them exactly what they're gonna do. But I'm leaving. Y'all can beat them. I'm leaving town because the guard died and I want to be executed. Obviously, that was a lie. She went to go see Aurora.
The big bad.
Aurora the guillotine, right? Who has the power to control essentially any other living being, even when they're dead.
Yep. If they have less mana than her.
If they have less mana than her. What's cool is that in the episode prior to this one, we got the whole conversation of Frieren the Slayer and them figuring out who she was. Frieren the Slayer is crazy.
It is a crazy name, first and
Crazy.
foremost. Oh man.
It's she's incredible.
She's deadly. So first and foremost, though, what I love about this show is exactly that, right? They gave us Frieren the Slayer in the previous episode. And then they also, I feel like they just drop information. Like we've talked about before, they give out the ley lines, they drop the breadcrumbs, the hints. The first time that she told them they could do something was when Fern had to fight Zoltrak.
Yes.
And obviously it wasn't just Fern, but it's the fact that she's showing them each time that you are better than you think.
Right.
You know what I mean? Zoltrak. Then you got Stark with the dragon. I just need you to hold the dragon off for 30 seconds. Stern killed the dragon 15 seconds ago. but it's just the principle that she has let them know and see that they are more than what they believe. And I love how these characters find their resolution and ambitions through these interactions. Because Frieren, for instance, right? She's fighting the blood demon. And she's like, why would Frieren think that I can beat him? You know, in her head, she's like, why am I in this fight? What's going on? And she realizes through stuff that we've already seen that when she casts spells, she casts them faster than anybody else. Frieren doesn't cast them as fast as she does. Mm-hmm. So she's able to counter others way faster than they're normal to reacting to. And it's crazy because it makes a huge difference in this fight specifically because, yes, dude might have years of magical power over her.
Nah, and that's the thing. We learned that he doesn't. Because he's like, it's just a battle of attrition. He's like, oh, wait, I won't win a battle of attrition with her.
Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is that years of experience.
Experience.
He's got the experience over her, but his actual magic prowess isn't better than hers.
Right.
Because she's literally just like, boom, 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 boom. Don't matter what you're doing. I'm lighting them all up with essentially a basic attack spell now.
Yep.
That's been modified specifically to kill demons. This is crazy. Because this is just a preparation that they gave us for that,
right? And they gave it through us all throughout the show. So it's not like what I don't like because I somebody on TikTok commented, Shangri-La is the best anime this season, and it's not even close. I said that's cap because Frieren is right there and Apothecary Dies is right there. Somebody else, a third party, commented and said, I tried to watch Frieren and it was boring.
Oh my god!
Oh my gosh! Okay, that I can't. I can't have this conversation with you then because there's nothing, and I mean nothing, boring from moment 1 to moment 9, boring about this show. It's so captivating with the way they determine with the way they set up the world and the rules and what happened, and they trinkle story beats and information that takes you. Again, right to what you were just talking about, to a moment that culminates into this fucking grandiose moment that becomes some of the best shit I've seen probably almost this year.
Yeah, it's up there, bro.
For sure. It's like, it's unbelievable watching. And then again, Matt, who the fuck is this? Madhouse is unbelievable right now. Shout out to Madhouse for going above and beyond with what they doing with this fighting. Like, it looks beautiful, which I already knew they wouldn't go have a problem with, right? Because they did Overlord. But these
angles, not to shout out Attack on Titan again, way better than Attack on Titan's angles.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, bro, they did their thing with this one, and then we get to Stark's battle, and to find out that the demon's magic, she can copy the flow of magic, so she can use anyone's weapon and use their abilities and whatnot,
and their attacks.
And I love so Stark is Zenitsu, but without so much less of a spine. Because Zenitsu's gonna cry the whole time. Stark just needs a reason to not cry. You know what I mean? He just needs to see that, like, okay, I'm gonna pop your head off real quick, and then he just does it.
What I love is just the realization of him, like, yo, you fight like my master, so now I'm really terrified because I can never be my master. But you're hitting me, and it's not like my master because you don't have any weight behind it. And again, these realizations are happening while we're getting little tidbits. And again, this is not like season 4 of My Hero, right? This is tidbits that are like quick glimpses of the past, like a character remembering something in a way that's not a full blown fucking side story in the middle of the episode. It's 2 seconds of learning how hard his master hits, and then coming to the realization. And it's like a back and forth. It's a beautiful fucking dance between the past and the present and what they learned and how they implementing what they learned and becoming just demons, man.
And I took that that thing he said about his master is kind of like a double-sided thing, right? Because she could very well not be hitting as hard as her master, but also took like his emotional weight.
Right.
These are demons. They don't have any emotions behind what they're doing. They literally just think we need to kill to keep living and survive and whatever, right? They're everything they do is about manipulation.
Sure.
So when he says she has no weight behind her attacks, I'm feeling like, one, she's not as strong as his master, and two, she literally don't feel nothing when she's trying to kill this man. It's just another obstacle in her way. So to him, it's like there's nothing to this attack because this is not life or death for her. At least in her mind, she thinks that she's better than me.
Right.
And like I said, this could just be too much, but it's like I feel like they leave us with these double like meanings behind things in this show. And for Stark to just say, yeah, you don't have any weight behind that lightning strike and this splitter, I was like, that's what I needed. And I was like, yo, Stark, I like him. And I can't even say I just like Stark. I like all these characters.
Yeah, I love them all. But the funny thing is when Stark got added, I was like, oh God, I don't know if I'm gonna like this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the first thought that I had until you continue to watch and he quickly grows on you. Probably that same episode where you think you won't like him, or me personally, where I thought I wouldn't like him. He grew on me that same episode. I'm like, oh shit, this guy's fucking dope. Yeah, exactly. He's not a liability. While he still has his, trepidations and hesitations, which completely makes sense with somebody who lacks the experience that somebody as Frieren or even Frieren at this point. I fucking love it, man. I love it, and it's going to be so sweet to see the aftermath of what happens after those two win, and then go either help Frieren or Frieren already mopped the floor with her, probably.
Right, then already laid waste to the land.
Yeah, so I can't wait. It's in 4 days. By the time you're hearing this, 2 days, and it's just the anticipation kills me. Okay, so watching this drives me crazy when the episode ends because I'm like, fuck, I gotta wait a week, bro. You know what? Also, this happens with
what?
Our dating story.
Yeah, because hear me out.
Which is the next thing we're going to spoil, which is episode 5 of Our Dating Story. Another time, this is another show that's like, fuck, every time the episode ends, I got to wait 6 days or 7 days or whatever. Because again, this episode, fire. So fire.
Man. So they left us on a hell of a cliffhanger, but it wasn't even like a bad cliffhanger. Let's start with that.
True.
It wasn't like some tasteless cliffhanger. It was reasonable. It was reasonable because it wasn't like something groundbreaking, but it was something that we obviously could pick up on. So was this episode 5? Episode 5?
Yep.
They get to experience like what is this, like their first month anniversary?
Yes.
This is interesting.
Yeah, this is the first month anniversary, and they end up getting stuck in a situation to where they get rained out essentially in their first month anniversary date, to where they have to spend a night in the inn together. And then she goes into a little bit more of what she went to in the very first episode was, hey, do you want to do it? And she kind of explains to him that entire situation, which makes me feel a lot better about what I thought about her at first. Because essentially it's like she just wants someone, which is a very sad thing to think about, right? Like you just want somebody and somebody just wants the buns from you. And you know what I'm saying? So it's like, and then hearing what we learned from her best friend about the guys that, used to date her and she called her too clingy, and then just basically all the shit that a normal guy would want for real. She is, and
right.
She just watched her get basically used and thrown away. It did affect me because at first I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like her because she fast, and I don't appreciate fast asses. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But essentially, yes, she is fast, but in a way that, is it excusable?
So the way I see it is she could be like, you could say that yeah, she's fast, but it's always in that manipulation aspect, yes. Right? Because she she used to getting what she wanted. So she thinks that, you know, if she wants to get what she wants, she has to do this, whatever, right?
I don't know.
I'm not saying that specifically is a thing.
I'm not saying wrong. I'm not
correlating this. I'm not correlating this to the same thing. I'm saying that in her day-to-day life, right? She was always used to getting what she wanted. So I'm saying that she goes out into the world, that she's not using this to get specifically what she's want. Because I don't think she's a manipulator. I don't think she's one of those people. I think that she's one of those people who's like a little bit too kind to a fault. Like she's faking the funk on, and I'm not even gonna say she's faking the funk.
No, she literally said it. You're right. She is. Yeah,
like so she's giving herself to these people because that's what they want.
Even though she never liked them.
That she never liked them. She just wanted to get to know people. She wanted to be more than just like this whatever is going on with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
And that's why it's so important that we get these moments with our main character, because she's telling him, I want to, yes, but like also I still have reservations. And him being so accepting of that is something that I hate to say a lot of women don't get to experience. Right. So, I mean, I'm sorry that that's an experience, but he's giving that to her. He's telling her we have space to do that. And he's already made it clear that even with his inexperience that, it is something I want to do. I'm a man. You know what I mean? That's real.
And that's what I appreciated most about this, because it wasn't like the same thing that we got in episode 1 where he's like, oh no, oh my God. Like he was scared of it, right? Like he wasn't that. So because it wasn't that, I feel a lot more comfortable with this main character because it's more realistic now, because of course he wants to do it. Like, hello, I'm a horny teenage boy. So yeah, of course I want to, but I'm not going to, because you want to do this right. And I want to do this right. And it kills after she says, like, it doesn't kill me when she says it. It's after we get explained from her best friend, you know, when she says, you know, can we do this, something like this for our second month too? And then I'm like, okay, that's nice of her to say, I guess. But then we get to talking to the friend, and the friend's like, hey, this is what happens after the second month. She can't get to month 2 because they either cheat, they either leave her, they call her too clingy, et cetera, et cetera. So it's like, damn, I love the way they're just kind of delivering information about this girl we know nothing about. And we're learning about her as our main character learns about her, which is something that we always love all the time.
And what blows my mind is that clearly in the context of this story, the boyfriends that she has had, they're not actually spreading any of the stuff about her being clingy or any of that stuff. They're literally just spreading the parts of like, yeah, she gave it up.
Yep.
They're not spreading the part that, oh, she's a girlfriend that's going to want to be around you all the time. They spreading the fact that, yeah, I bought her this stuff because he probably thought that's what he had to do to get it, even though all he really had to do was ask. It literally just, and I'm like, they're literally spreading the worst details about her, when in reality, it ain't none of that, bro. Straight it up. Ain't even none of that. You're just a bad guy. You're the bad guy. It's like, come on, bro. You're the bad guy. You're sitting here making it seem like she's this pig of a woman, and clearly that's not the case. And and it sucks that we had to wait for Ryoto for him to set it straight for everybody. Why we have to wait for him to set the record straight? Because everybody else is too weak and chicken shit to actually be real with themselves and everybody else.
Yeah, and even though he's supposed to be the weak one. This goes back to me thinking about everything that I said about this title. Like the experience you is implying her, but it's been him, which has been just a phenomenal twist of fate, I guess, for lack of a better word. That just feels good, man. And to take it to where we end off, look, I seen the previews for the next episode. But her sister ain't shit, man.
Ain't nothing, bro. I hate her
so much, bro. It's like not even like I watch a lot of mess, okay? I watch a lot of messy shows. It's not like a domestic girlfriend like type thing where you kind of root for both of these sisters and domestic girlfriend. No, it's not like that. It's you genuinely fucking hate her guts. Like, there's no reason for her to do what she's doing. She's manipulating him to try to get what she wants. I think she has some psychological problems, like psychotic problems, I should say, not psychological, psychotic problems that she need to work through.
And it's her parents' fault, but that's stupid. That this what she doing right now is wild. Cause like, that's your sister, first of all, not just your regular sister, that's your twin sister. Y'all was born on the same day.
Same time.
At same time. And you really want to behind her and pretend to be her so you can get her man? Come on, bro. Not even her man, her high school boyfriend. Come on, man.
So thinking about this, Tel, I don't know if you've seen the little next episode preview, but
I did.
The next episode preview seems to be the result of him. They're mad at him because he quote unquote cheated. Like, is it not obvious what's going on here?
And what I feel like, and I don't know what's about to happen, but I feel like he didn't do it and she just says they did. And I only say that because I knew this was going to be a hell of a gut check episode because of this cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I don't think he did it, but I do think that he's going to be the kind of person who's like, I don't want to say we didn't do it because I don't want to make her seem like a liar, and I hate that for him.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's what we're going to run into, a situation where he's like, no, this doesn't make sense. You literally just turned me down, or we literally just discussed this, and now you turn around the next day. Yeah. I don't think it's real. So I feel like he's going to turn it down.
Right. But I agree with that. I agree with that. But where my thought process was going was that she's going to throw herself on him, i.e. kiss him or something like that. Somebody's going to walk in and see that. And they're going to see that it's like her wig is going to fall off or some shit like that. And somebody's going to see that, Ryota was kissing, what's her name? Maria was kissing Maria in the fucking gym storage. He cheated on you type shit. That's where I think it's going to go. And that's why I think it's going to, that's why they say what they say, because if it goes your way, right? I don't, again, he doesn't do it and she says they did. Like, she's like, there's no fucking way Runa is not going to believe him. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way. So it wouldn't be that much of a mess if it was like that. It has to be something like I mentioned, where the wig falls off. She's running to kiss him. They get caught in the closet. They tell the school, hey, Ryota was cheating on her. And she's like, well, but it was, and she's probably going to do her manipulation thing. Like, no.
I'm so hurt, bro.
Yeah. So
she don't deserve this.
No.
She don't deserve that at all. As the person that she's been, and even like within that household, right?
Yeah.
The reason she always got what she wanted is because she was the outspoken one. She always said what she wanted. So if you're the twin that don't say what you want and you don't always get what you wanted, yeah, your parents need to be a little bit more observative and give you what you want, even if you don't necessarily say it. But the reality is that closed mouth don't get fed. She was hungry and she was trying to get fed, so she kept talking.
Straight up.
And to me, it's wild that you're going to sneak behind your own sister and do this. Especially when, after we've seen, she don't deserve no sneakiness in her life, bro. It's wild to even. I'm sorry for her.
I'm just looking forward to seeing how he clarifies this situation. Because what I like about him is the same thing I like about the main character of 100 Girlfriends. It's that honesty. That honesty is what I appreciate more than anything, because I'm honest to a fault. Like, it's and just being honest. And what that leads to, I just can't wait to see him express himself to her, to let her know, like, listen, it ain't that, it's this, me and you know? So I'm looking forward to seeing that, bro. I'm looking forward to seeing that. I can't wait. Last but not least, the Kingdoms of Ruin, which I should have put 2 and 2 together from the moment I read the title, because when I read the Kingdoms of Ruin, it didn't make any fucking sense to me. So I always called it the Kingdom of Ruin. But now that it's the Kingdoms of Ruin, it makes 100% sense. Like the human kingdom ain't the only kingdom it was coming into ruin. These bitches, wishes was too. So
Yo, Adonis ain't come to play with nobody.
Straight up. So we were, I mean, for those of you that don't know, we're about to spoil episode 5 of Kingdoms of Ruin. Bruh. I was shocked.
You were shocked.
I was fucking shocked because I was not expecting him to be the one to bring the humans to the witches. Because I thought he was just about to have to duke it out with the witches, which he would have lost, clearly, obviously.
Yeah.
But to know that he brought them, crazy.
When he did that, I didn't know what to expect.
Me either.
I was very surprised, but I did feel like he was going to have no allegiance to anybody.
Yeah, that was quite clear after that last episode.
And even before, like in that last episode, I didn't think he was going to revive Chloe right then and there because I felt like it needed to be something different. You know what I mean? Like he didn't feel comfortable with that. He knew whatever situation he's bringing Chloe into wasn't going to be a good situation, so he didn't. I vibe with that. I think that was a smart move on his behalf.
The only reason why I knew he wasn't was because of the cover art.
Yeah,
the cover art is him and the pink hair girl. So, like,
well, I just didn't see it. Yeah. I saw the cover art, but I just didn't see him reviving Chloe. Yeah. But when he brought the humans there, now hear me out. I thought the witches was gonna do a little bit more damage than that.
Me too. Well, and they did.
And don't get me wrong. Some of them cold.
They popped off, but
some of them got handled.
Yeah, because the problem is the numbers, right? Like they outnumbered. They slowly kept trickling in. Like they took care of the first wave. I mean, and then the second wave, they handled it for the most part, and then more came in the middle of them fighting that second wave. So it's like, you know, you only got 2 hands, 2 eyes, and 2 feet. So
better grow some more.
Yeah, exactly. So with that being said, it was only a matter of time before they all croaked. Shout out to Doroka, her friend risking her life though, because she could have saved herself.
Yeah,
and she could have been the one riding with old boy. This show is good at leaving cliffhangers too, to make it seem like all hope is lost. Yeah,
I think one of the things is to me is that I don't know where this is about to go.
You can't. That's exactly where I was going.
That's good. Yes. I don't know where this is about to go though, because I feel like, yes, he has a grudge with the witches, but his grudge with the witches ain't as bad as his grudge with the humans. Because he still got a whole planet of humans to fight.
But you gotta think about it. Is it? You know what I mean? Because once he learned that what they did to Chloe, he was like, "Nah, fuck y'all just as much, probably." At least I assume.
So much.
Yeah, because she was bruised up and battered and beat up, and it was not because of the humans, because the humans couldn't catch her. It was because of the mother bitches. So, you know, it's like, I don't know. Again, just like you said, I think you are spot the fuck on. I don't know what's going to happen. It's so hard. Maybe it's hard to bring this into spoilers because we just don't know. Because at the end of this, they're good at showing you the end and making it seem like all hope is lost. Because at the end, the only person that was standing was that one human commander dude.
Yeah.
Obviously, the other witch in him is still alive because they're the main characters. But how? Where?
And I don't know, like, when I say, like, I don't know where this show can go next, it's like, I know there has to be more chaos.
Yes.
I feel like Adonis done plunged them into basically hell. And this is definitely a revenge story, but, like, sheesh, what's next?
You know what I'm saying? You can't know. Because, like, what? There's no more witches now. They're gone outside of Doroka. Like, she's the only one, and him, and he needs a pin. I don't know what.
Which is oddly more powerful than basically everything else.
Everything else, yep. And that's why it wants to bring Chloe back so she can make a bunch of those pins to give to others to help them fight the humans. It's convoluted, but it's convoluted in a way like, oh shit, y'all lost.
Maybe he knows that he can make another tree with the pen.
You think he can make another tree with the pen?
Maybe. And I think that he realizes that he doesn't need a lot of memory to survive the to know of them.
Because he didn't
know her for more than a few seconds.
That's a fact. That's a fact. You spitting. Damn, you spitting. I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know. What happens next though? Like, okay.
They go back to Earth?
Does he write them back to Earth? Like, what the fuck? I don't understand.
I don't know, bro. Hear me out. This might be one of the ones that you don't predict. Just go with the flow, man.
Just go with the flow. All I know is I'm looking forward to it. I don't like Doroka fucking trying to stop him from being him.
Yeah.
That I don't like. I don't appreciate because he needs to be him. We need him as viewers to him to be him.
Right.
And he can't be him with you. Oh, Adonis, no. Stopping him every fucking time he's trying to slaughter some folks.
You can't hurt anything that breathes. That's not nice.
Yeah, like after they kill me and then kill my entire
right, then they kill me and you.
Yeah, exactly. And an entire subrace of people. Silly. Very, very silly. But you know what else is silly?
What's that?
That I'm at Polo Bornfly on all social media.
I'm at King Teliano on all social media.
You can follow our social medias at Mike Check Waifu on Twitter and Mike Check Waifu on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. And as always, Mike Check.
You're now tuned into Mike Check Waifu Waifu.